Know this. Introducing the original blood clot podcast, not players. Soothing semantic. Special dedication. All the way from New York. Boom. Yeah, man. SWOT semantic. Yeah, me know. Boom. Soothing semantic. Yeah, me know. Big ups to the man. Soothing semantic.
On another episode of Soothing Semantics, today we have a guest, the Puerto Rican Jew. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, man?
What's going on? So,
Good, man.
I saw this character on Instagram, and the Jewish jokes definitely got me. You guys will check out his page. I'm confident you will. And he's a fucking riot. He's a quirky dude. And ever so often, I check into your pages.
Okay.
Check into your videos, and they're fucking great. And he now, we're telling me that you are hopefully getting onto Rob Dyrdek's MTV thing.
Yes, hopefully by the end of the year, from what I'm told from MTV Ridiculousness' producer, who I'm in contact with. He said it should be by the end of the year. The episode will be airing. It's already filmed. It was filmed on October 15th. So I'm excited, man. I just want to see what Rob's going to say about that video. You know what I mean? Of my mom's friend humping my leg. Like, what is he?
We're gonna put that up so you guys can see this.
Yeah. Can't wait for that one. That's gonna be interesting. You know?
But I saw it, so I know what you're talking about. And
yeah, it hit World Star.
Yeah, it's
over 2
amazing.
million views on World Star.
That's really the beauty of the past couple of years, where if you have a skill, millions of people can see it in a matter of minutes.
100%.
And you couldn't do that back then.
The exposure, man. It's just about, being able to get your face out there and your talents. These days, you got to take advantage of it. Because you're right, back in the day, it wasn't easy to get yourself out there. You had to go to, auditions and stand-up comedy or whatever, network and meet people. But now, Instagram is like everything. It's like almost
Horse
like
and
bigger than
carriage
TV.
took fucking forever, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
takes fucking years.
And I'm not going to lie, Jim Carrey kind of helped me out. Big inspiration in my life, watching his movies and stuff.
I kind of see how you have a bit of that slapstick,
yeah,
with the different faces and all that.
Yeah. I love Jim Carrey. He's, a big idol of mine. Chris Tucker.
You an Austin Powers fan at all back in the day?
A little bit, of course.
Yeah.
How about you? You little Dutch bastard.
Do I make you horny, baby?
You know what I mean? Like Austin Powers, yeah, that's hilarious, man. That's memories.
My favorite scene from Goldmember was, did you watch Goldmember?
Of course. Seen them all.
The best scene was when Austin Powers goes to Mini-Me and he's like, one of us is going to have to go on the other one's shoulders. And you think, obviously, Mini-Me's going to go on his shoulders, but they do it the opposite way around. And this little tiny midget dude, I can't say that word anymore. Little person. Fucking cancel culture. No, but listen, all right. We can edit that out. We may not. Who knows? Anyway, so Austin Powers is on his fucking shoulders with this massive lab coat, and then they go to get like a pee test.
Yeah.
And did you remember that the whole thing? I'm gonna literally put this in because I was crying from laughter when I watched it the first time.
Cut that.
Did you remember with the rubber glove? Do you know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. If you don't, we'll watch it after the episode, but I'm going to put it in. I watched it like 3 or 4 times over again and again, and tears are just streaming down my face. And he's one of the funniest That movie is just...
He's amazing. Doesn't he play multiple roles in that movie as well?
Yes, so he plays Dr. Evil, he plays Fat Bastard, he plays himself, he plays Austin Powers.
Right, he plays Fat Bastard. That's funny shit, dude. That really is. That's hilarious.
Yeah, he's a dorky James Bond. He just gets a lot more women and kills more people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Crazy how he does that.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's interesting. But yeah, dude, interesting stuff going on these days, with the whole Instagram thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to take full advantage of it.
Yeah, you'll get it, man. You'll get big. I'm very confident. You're already on the road, dude.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, dude, just keep at it. Check out his page.
The Puerto Rican Jew, guys.
Yeah.
The Puerto Rican Jew, just like that.
So other than we're going to talk more about your page, but how are you finding this now with what you're doing as far as COVID? So let me kind of explain the question. Being that everything's on fucking lockdown with COVID,
Yeah, it's terrible.
In Miami, it's not really like that. I don't know if you went out at all, but it's a lot
Yeah.
more open.
Yeah, definitely way better than New York. I'll tell you that much.
So when you guys are down to move,
Oh, it might happen sooner than later. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, New York is pretty bad right now with the lockdown. Actually, you know, we're like 9 months into COVID, and unfortunately, New York is going back to like phase 1. We're back to whatchamacallit, what do you call that? Like curfew, 10 o'clock. All businesses have to shut down, restaurants and all that. So it kind of sucks, man, knowing that almost a year in, we're back to, you know, square one. I don't know exactly, you know, what's going on behind closed doors with.
what do you think it is, man? Like, what's your straight up conspiracy theory on the whole thing?
My conspiracy theory, I'll be honest with you,
as long as you're honest with me.
I think it has a lot to do with the election. It's
Yeah, but the election's already like over.
Not at all.
I hope it's not.
Not at all.
Right. We still have more time, you know, until what, January?
Yeah.
So things can happen. Yeah.
With the whole thing with Trump, you know, accusing the Democrats of cheating the election, and, you know, with the recounts going on and all, you know, PA and Georgia and, you know, Arizona and all that. It's just, for me, my opinion, and seeing all this and how I feel about it, to see COVID numbers spike and hit a new record during the election week. You know, and I'm watching the news.
That's fishy.
Seeing
That's
what's going
fishy
on,
shit.
and this is what they're putting on the news, and I'm just like, come on. And then all of a sudden, a vaccine, 90% done.
All of a
It's
sudden,
all in election.
all of a fucking sudden, all this time, nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, the vaccine will take 7 months, 6
Yeah.
months. Cuomo and De Blasio like, whoa.
Oh,
and
God.
now Biden,
I hate those fuckers.
you know, wins or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And now they're like, oh, it's clear. We're gonna be cured soon. Yeah. Honestly, it's
fishy, dude.
I think you know, it's hard to say whether the Chinese invented it and whether it's a virus that was you know, on like a deeper medical level, where it's something that can be mutated in the sense where you can catch it a million times and the virus kind of like understands the antibodies and can, like, you get what I'm saying, and like fight with them and can continue to grow. You get where I'm coming from?
110%.
So that might have been modified in a lab, and
Exactly.
who knows?
I believe it's man-made, but
It very well could be, man.
because of what you're saying, exactly, like how, like, it's so contagious to this, to that.
Because you catch it and then you get it again, and then you get it again
Yeah.
and again and again. So it's like
yeah,
and I think the weirdest thing about COVID is the paradox, like the issue where if we didn't wear masks in the beginning, a lot more people would have died earlier on. But I think it would have been finished by now because we would have built an immunity. Hopefully.
100%.
The problem is, if the shit can be caught again and again,
what do
is
you
there
do?
immunity
Yeah,
really?
like-
Because then you could just then, but
Also, just to add on to that, that's the scary part about it, because from what I see, what the media does is puts fear into people. You know, the American people.
they
at
do that
least.
anyway, even without COVID.
And, you know, if that is the case where, like you're saying, where you could get sick again and again and again, it's going to make people think like, oh, maybe I should get this new vaccine that we have no idea where it came from, what's going on with it. Like, you know, it's just, it's a scary thing, man. Talking about a mandation vaccine. I shouldn't have to get a vaccine if I don't want to. Like the flu
100%.
shot. It should just be like, you know, you want to get the flu shot? Go ahead, walk into Rite Aid. It's your option. But mandatory vaccine.
They can force that? They can.
This
can
is
force,
listen. This
are
is
they
what I'm
gonna do?
reading.
What are they
and
going to do if you
hearing.
say no? Are they going to hold you down, waterboard you, and then?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
By the way, you should not.
Not me.
You do it. No. Are you going to do like a funny waterboard skit? Because that could be an idea.
100%. I might actually wait till this goes down, where they're like mandatory. You must get it, and then put it on camera and just start running like, "Fuck you guys, I'm out of here," you know,
hilarious.
and just like go to war. And
De Blasio's goons like catch you. They break into your apartment. They hold you down.
De Blasio is a prick.
Yeah.
Just want to let that be known.
Nobody. And it's really funny how the Democrats and Republicans don't like him. I think the only people who like him are his family, and they probably.
I think so too.
I don't think
no New Yorker like
Nobody
De
likes the
Blasio.
guy.
There's actually, I swear to God, I've seen this. There's a viral video. I think it's an Italian kid
Yes,
definitely
I
a
know
New
what you're
Yorker,
talking about. Amazing.
who catches him on the street. He's like, "You fucking rat scumbag, you motherfucker." Bro, that was like the greatest video of 2020. Shout out to that kid who did that, who saw de Blasio on the street and called him a rat scum. Shout out to you, kiddo.
It was so good, dude.
That
I have
was
to
amazing.
find out who that person is. And
Yeah, I don't know who it is,
and
but that was
interview him.
amazing.
Yeah, dude, that was
great. 100%.
So yeah, that being said, everybody hates the guy, and I think with COVID, it's a simple divide and conquer thing, where they're dividing the country politically, and then they're pushing an agenda to cause this anxiety and panic.
Yep.
And then the people who have major wealth can then continue to make more money, because when people are in a weakened state of mind, you can take advantage of them.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where you have to be, as a person, smart enough and resilient enough to say, something's going on.
Yeah.
And even if you can't figure out what it is, because I don't fucking know
Yeah.
to the degree of what's really happening, but I just know I have shit that I need to do, and it's going to get done whether or not these people try to push this whole thing.
Yeah.
Only thing they can really force me to do is wear a mask.
Exactly.
What else can they force me to do?
That's pretty much it. And I think you're right about that. You know, people they can't be puppets.
Right.
That's how I look at it. Like, the media wants us to be like they're like a puppet. Like, just listen to what they got to tell us, and all the information just. But really, you got to look beyond it. You got to do your research, especially with this whole, the election thing. It's like one of the biggest things now. Like, politics is like #1 trending topic these days, which I hate, because I hate politics.
I fucking hate politics, dude.
I hate politicians.
It's such a waste.
Pricks. But yeah, it's just really not being a puppet, not being a fool, and not just listening to what somebody behind the freaking TV is telling you, and just like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm going to go, do this, whatever they're telling me. Like, no, fuck that. Fuck that shit.
I think it was all caused of toilet paper, to be honest. I think the toilet paper companies weren't making enough money.
I still can't get over how we acted over the toilet paper.
Why in the world was toilet paper the thing that people lost their shit over? I think it was just market. I think it was just no, it wasn't even intentional.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. So they were able to cause this panic on not having enough to wipe your ass, and everyone was like, "Oh, how am I going to wipe my ass?" It's like, there are tissues, there are wipes, there are leaves, there's printing paper.
Yeah.
There are pants. Like, you just shake your pants, just shit in the sink. There's options, and everyone's like, "Oh my god!" And everyone's like grabbing. There was videos of stores of people literally like jumping over each other's shoulders, and just pulling each other by the hair. No, but like, everyone was bugging. Like, there's other more important shit.
I would have never thought that toilet paper would have been the one.
It's because the media pushed it, and it became this thing, because it's like, now, well, it's still a necessity.
Yeah, of course.
So if
you gotta take a shit.
If everyone else is taking, you gotta take a shit.
Yeah, gotta go.
Unless you're, well, Biden kind of forgets at times to take a shit, but so Kamala reminds him. Kamala's like, "Joey, it's time to take a poop." He's like, "Oh yeah.
Right now."
And everyone that's watching this pro Biden's like, "Are you hating on Biden?"
Yeah,
it's
no.
a joke.
It's a joke, guys.
Shut up. It's a joke. It's a joke. Anyway, like, I'm gonna lose a
couple followers.
Yeah,
me too.
yeah,
Fuck.
yeah.
Come on, man. Shit. Can we move on? No.
It's amazing, bro.
It really is.
So, yeah, dude. So other than COVID, dude, what was your upbringing like in Brooklyn? And
earlier days, or what do you mean? Like,
it's a good question.
Like early in my life, you're talking about?
Well, kind of what brought you. A good question to ask is, what about your upbringing brought you to do what you're doing now?
Videos on Instagram and comedy. Funny story. Okay, so one day I'm at work. I'm bored. I've always been like an energy type of kid. Like always dancing, or always just like trying to have a good time, make people laugh.
Even your hair, even the little curl.
Yeah, you guys see that right there? You like that little curl?
You did it on purpose.
Shout out to John Travolta, Grease. Shout out to Johnny Depp, Crybaby. Big fan. But yeah, I've always been that type of guy.
Your hair doesn't even follow the rules. Your hair just does its own thing.
It just does its own thing, which I respect. It's like its own person in a sense, honestly. I treat him with a lot of respect. But yeah, I don't know. I've always been like energy, dancing. And
what was the story, though? You said you had a story.
I was at work one day, and I was bored as shit. I'm sitting at the desk.
What were you doing? What job was it?
Plumbing.
Okay.
Local one union, but I was working in the office. I was like the bitch boy delivery guy.
You didn't wear the overalls, the
Yeah,
denim
all
overalls?
all that. It's like I came dressed like to get my hands dirty, but really I'm just sitting behind a desk.
Okay.
It was very strange, but whatever. I was bored. I was, answering the phones for the secretary who wasn't there at that moment. And I went to the bathroom and I just had this idea. I was like, what if I imitated my Israeli father, right?
Okay.
And made a scenario that happened in my life when I got caught smoking weed for the first time. What if I kind of imitated that on video and put it out there? Because before that, I had Instagram. I had maybe 500 followers, nothing crazy, regular, post a picture here and there, whatever. But so I had this idea. I go to the bathroom and I start doing it. I start imitating my father. I'm like, hello, what's this smell? Maze, what is this? I'm playing my father in the role, and I'm answering him as me. Oh, Papa, it's nothing, It's a cigarette, a little cigarette. What cigarette, boy? Come here, let me see, And I just kept going back and forth as my dad and as me as a kid. And I put it up on Instagram. I uploaded it, and it got some buzz. It was like, oh shit, a few comments. I was like, well, I never really got a comment.
Right.
Like, wow, people are tuned in right now, like laughing and stuff. And I kind of got that feeling, like, oh, this is cool. I like this, A couple friends hitting me, oh, that was funny, dude. That was funny. Make more. And I was like, okay. And then later on that day, I was thinking about, oh, what's the next idea, And came up with another scenario of an Israeli video. It was actually Passover at the time. So I did a little Jewish gathering.
Oh, real quick, you know what
Go ahead.
fucking kills me that you do? You do the Bukharian guys or just the Russian Jews with the unibrow? Brat, you did the one with the stairs. I saw that one with the Russian guy at the stairs, and he's complaining. I think that the Israeli guy makes noise, and he's like, "What?" He's like, "What's your problem? You want come Shabbat, to do Shabbat by me?" And then the guy he's just looking up at the unibrow with the box in his hand, and he's like, "Okay, we come."
Okay, I call my wife. We go to Shabbat dinner. Thank you. With the unibrow, yeah. But I like to play different roles, different nationalities. I actually went to yeshiva growing up.
Where'd
as
you
a
go?
kid in Canarsie. It was called Yeshiva Ratzad.
I've heard of Ritzad, yeah. I went to Derech HaTorah. You know Derech HaTorah?
I've heard of it, yeah.
On Nostrand and Kings Highway?
Wow. Yeah, I know.
The one from Brooklyn, across from Brooklyn Bagel, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I went to school with a lot of Baharians.
Ah, okay.
So, a lot of them had unibrows and stuff.
They do have unibrows. You guys do a great job cutting hair.
Yes.
Manny, you're the man.
Queens, shout out Forest Hills.
Shout out, yeah. You guys have a lot of back hair, but it's part of it's life. It's cold in Uzbekistan, so they need the extra warmth.
I'm sure they keep very warm. But that was cool. I love the Baharians. We play ball and shit. So, but yeah, that was part of my comedy. I was like, oh, let me play a Baharian. Let me play an Israeli. Let me play, an Italian, or just to mix it up a little bit for everybody to get a little bit of my sense of humor, and not just keep it on one thing. As an Israeli, that would be selfish. They already say enough about us Jews, so I had to share the wealth and
That is full show.
being Italian too. You know what I'm talking about? From Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? Bensonhurst,
What
They don't
other
move,
ones
but
can you do?
What?
What other impersonations do you think you're good at?
What do? I do the religious Jewish people
I do that.
from Borough Park and stuff.
Yeah.
Shlomi, come on, it's kiddish. Come to the table. Let's go, guys. Just do a little bit of
Or the way the rabbis kind of have a constipated when they talk.
Ellie, you didn't make it to yesterday's class. You gonna be in for Gemara?
But they also extend the words too. I don't know what it is.
They
don't
put the
just say
kippah on the
Ellie.
front
It's
of
like
their head.
Ellie. It's like 10 seconds. Rabbi.
If you're not gonna study, you're not gonna know it. You know what I mean? What are you gonna do?
Exactly, and they're rocking back and forth. And it's like,
They do
Slow
this.
down.
They do the leg thing. You ever notice
yeah.
that?
Oh, they're always moving. I think that's where I picked that up too. I kind of moved too. It's my rabbi from yeshiva.
Bukharian rabbi.
I don't know if he was Baharian, but
Didn't check the back hair.
he might have had a unibrow. I don't know. I don't know what he was though, but he was cool.
He was
Shout out Rabbi
inconspicuous.
Fogel
That definitely not Bukharin, unless it was Fogelov.
with the OV. That's right. That's right. They all have the OVs at the end.
I'm gonna have some Bukharian guy show up to my door later. Brat, I came all the way from fucking Kew Gardens to kick your ass.
I seen podcast. You and the Puerto Rican Jew prick. Oh man, that's funny shit.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. I like doing impressions
Yeah.
too. I do a decent German. I do a German und Wasser und Hamburger, Frankfurt in Germany.
Sei
My name is-
gesund.
Sei gesund. My name is Heinrich und Pinschke. The Frankfurt is actually not a. I'm like going British now. I'm not so good.
Yeah, leaning a little bit. You do the British as well. Okay.
It was quite a fantastic situation, if I were to say so myself. Yeah, some decent, and then my Italian's pretty good too. My Israeli's good. I do a good Arab one also.
Hit me with it.
Hit me with it. Today on Al Jazeera, my name is Mahmoud Al Walahi, and we are covering the news coverage in the Palestine. There is unfortunately an occupation. People are getting really triggered by this, but all right. And we wanted to we wanted to have a shawarma outside, but because of the pandemic, they don't allow it. Inshallah, they're eventually going to allow for this to happen. But my mother is not allowed to leave the house. So I have the words, the improv, whatever, but the accents, I've heard it a million times, so I'm
Of
really
course. I mean,
and then there's also my Spanish. I don't know if it's like Ecuadorian or whatever. I just do like, last time I had an empanada, I shit all over the floor, like that kind of thing. And then
you gotta put this on video, dude. You gotta get yourself out there.
Yeah, I don't. The truth is, man, I don't know if I would. And don't get me wrong, I would love to, but it's just like time-wise. There's only like so many things I don't want to be a jack of all trades.
I feel you.
The podcast is an opportunity for me to do this kind of thing
that's your
in a
thing.
different way. And then if, for instance, I would do a skit with you if you're down. I would do,
sure.
if other people want to do stuff like that, I'll get on it. I take the opportunities as they come. So if it makes sense, if on a Tuesday somebody hits me up, Miami, they're like, yo, we want to do this comedy thing. You do a great Arab accent. We'll do like, you'll put on the whole thing and we'll do whatever. I'll be like, all right, fuck it. Let's give it a go. Why not? You never know. It could blow up and it'll be fun, and why not?
You never know, man.
Yeah,
That's what happened with me. One video just led to the next one, and went from 500 followers to 11,000 now. Not crazy, nothing crazy, but I'm just saying, within a year, it's not that
once
bad.
you hit the 10K mark on Instagram, bro, and tell me if you agree, I think you do, you get that mental confidence where it's like, yo, I exceeded 10K, I got this.
100%.
Because it's not that far off from 100, bro. Like you're going to lose a few because some people are triggered and they get upset, like, oh, he said that, yeah. Fuck it, So once you you're at 11,000, dude. You're not far off. Once you hit 100K, then you're like, all right, I got this, and you're already
the next small goal.
Yeah, dude. So it's a domino effect, like we were talking about earlier.
100%.
And the more people that know you, the more people that know you. The more followers you get, the more followers you get. The more popular you get, the more popular you get. Unless you're Louis C.K. and you do what you do, but he'll be fine. He'll come back. He's
Hope
already
so.
coming back. He's one of my favorite comedians. But
what happened to him?
You know what happened to him?
It was something with the jerking off.
Yeah, he was
jerking off.
he was spanking the monkey in front of people, in front of like women or something, or
like
so.
live or like on.
He would go out onto the stage in Madison Square Garden and just like pop one
start
out.
beating off and shit.
No, I'm totally joking.
That would be hilarious.
Imagine he just sits down. And everyone's expecting a show.
Yeah,
he just pulls down his pants.
And just starts beating
That wouldn't be that funny, but I mean, I'll be honest. I would die of laughter. I'd be like, well,
That would be hilarious.
I'd be like, that's really fucked up. But I'm a guy, so I wouldn't really be like uncomfortable with it.
Yeah.
For women, they'd be like, oh god, what the fuck, yeah, ugh.
He's disgusting. I'll never see him again.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I understand from a woman's perspective
no.
that's.
Yeah.
I get them. I actually saw him on a plane when on my way back from Mexico a few years back with his kid, and I'm an idiot for not saying anything, but it was like right when the whole thing happened, and I was like,
Felt a little
because
weird about it.
I feel like no one else knew it was him. you know, some people have no eye for these things. Like, there can be a famous actor on a plane, and just some people just, I don't know, they're like blind.
Yeah,
they just
don't,
can't.
They don't notice. Yeah.
Even if it's, I'm the opposite. I just recognize
aware.
people.
You're
Yeah.
aware.
So,
Yeah.
and he was very inconspicuous. You could tell he was trying to be very on the DL, on the down low.
That's what they do, you know. These
Well,
famous
also
guys.
because of what happened, I think, in
Well,
general.
that too, yeah.
But I feel like he didn't want anyone giving him any attention. He was probably worried that paparazzi would show up out of nowhere and be like, "Is it true that you did that?" And he's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, great, yes I did," and I'm really glad about it. He's in his head. He's like, "Please leave. I want to jump off a bridge."
Yeah.
So.
Oh man.
Yeah.
We're
dude.
praying for you, buddy.
Yeah, dude, come back, man.
Praying for your comeback, Lewis.
Yeah, he'll be good.
He'll be all right.
He'll be all right. He's easily one of the funniest comedians.
He's a funny guy. We do good. You have a sense of humor, you know.
Yeah, that's what we need. We need another thing to throw comedians in, because it ties into politics.
Yeah.
I find that comedians sometimes are the most honest about these things.
Yeah,
Because
it's true.
they say things in a funny way.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of the time, no, everyone has bias, but take a guy like Dave Chappelle, or
I love
they
Dave
make
Chappelle.
you think, and then you'll be like, oh, that's funny. You'll laugh, and then you'll be like, huh, that makes fucking sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they'll put you into perspective in a humorous way,
Yeah.
but it makes sense.
Mhm.
And I find that sometimes like the truest things I've heard were actually from comedians.
100%. And Dave Chappelle that's a perfect example, you know, because he doesn't give a shit. He'll talk
No.
about whatever. He'll make fun of whoever, and he's just an honest guy, you know. He says it for what it is, and I respect that.
You need
Definitely,
people like that, man.
Another idol of mine, Dave Chappelle. Shout out Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, hopefully he'll see this one. But you need comedians are so important because so many people are so triggered and sensitive and make a big fucking deal about everything. And when you have comedians that can lighten things up and make the racist jokes and give you the shock factor and say the things that people go, you know, but then they go, that's so funny, that's cool.
It's
so
hilarious. People, you know, especially these days, I think people are just a little bit too sensitive these days. You know, if you take a look at old school stand-up comedy, especially someone
Did you
like Eddie
Patrice
Murphy.
O'Neill, bro? You ever heard of Patrice O'Neill?
No.
He is one of the most balls to the wall, say whatever's on his mind guys. Like, he says such controversial shit.
Really?
Yeah, about like male and female psychology.
Uh-huh.
Like a lot of it sounded, he passed away. A lot of it sounded very misogynistic, but it was like, whoa, that's intense. Like, I'll show you later some of his videos.
Okay, cool.
But he was easily one of the funniest guys.
Yeah,
but you
definitely
were
gotta
talking
look him up.
about, I cut you off. You're talking about.
Oh, no, I was just saying how, like, you know, back in the day, even watching Eddie Murphy, I think it was the Raw stand-up comedy that he did. And, like, one of the first things he comes out and says, like, he's making fun of gay people. Flat out just saying, faggot.
Yeah, that takes so much balls, dude.
And you know what I mean?
Even
And
that
this
you
is in
just
the
said, even
80s.
that you just said that.
Yeah.
Most people, and I could edit, I can edit this out, but that completely kills the point.
Yeah.
I'm not. We're leaving it in there. It makes the
Yeah, guys, nothing against you out there. I like gay people. Hey, how are you?
Yeah.
You know, I know a few gay people out there.
So that's how you. That's
You know?
that's the classic. Like, I have a few gay friends.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if babe, do I have any gay friends? We do. You see that? Like, nothing against anybody who's gay, but I'm just saying, you know, back in the day, it was a lot more like people were like, it was funny shit. You make
Bro,
fun, you make
it's
a
good. It's
joke.
fucking
It's
funny.
not you know, to hurt anybody's feelings and shit like that. But these days, it's just terrible. Thank God for Dave Chappelle, because I feel like he's one of the last, like, I guess you could say, really famous comedians who doesn't give a shit if we live in a sensitive world. He's gonna say what he thinks is funny. You know what I mean?
that,
And I
bro.
respect
It's
that.
so key. Imagine we didn't have that.
See, that's the thing. I don't want to. Dave Chappelle, you need to just be immortal, because who else
I know.
is there?
You're
who's
hoping.
just
Hopefully, there's a reincarnation of him, but there's
Yeah.
somebody that comes.
me.
Yeah.
It's gonna be me. Man, one day, you know.
Dude, believe
big
it.
dreams. Big dreams.
Believe it, man. Don't even doubt it for a second. Straight up, man.
Big
Be
dreams.
your own version. Don't like. I know you're saying it like in a funny way, but
Yeah.
just like fucking believe it, dude.
Hey man, I know. Shoot for the stars, aim for the moon.
Yeah, dude.
You know, that's my motto. Rest in peace, Pop Smoke. Shout out to Brooklyn. But like, I really do believe that whatever you put your mind to, you can do. You know, and stand-up comedy has been something that I've been thinking about doing. Well, obviously, you know, with the whole COVID thing, can't really do that now. But future-wise, you know, being
Have you
able
done
to-
stand up?
I have not. Only doing skits on Instagram. That's all I've been doing.
Is it it's a different kind of comedy.
Yeah,
It's very different.
See, like I said, I've never done stand-up comedy. I have friends who do skits as well. Like one of my boys, Will's Way on Instagram. One of the funniest dudes who does skits on Instagram, I think personally. I've seen his stand-up. He actually did a few, and it's more like painting the picture to the crowd. So like, you know how me and guys who do skits or females who do skits on Instagram, like, we'll create a scenario and put it together in a video. But when you go on stage, I believe it's saying the scenario.
Right.
You understand, to the crowd and kind of like painting the picture to the people and just, you got to be good at it.
It's hard also.
It's hard to
because
do.
You don't have the back and forth like with your crew.
Exactly.
You have that person responding. When you're on stand up, you're by yourself.
Exactly.
The only response are the laughs.
It's just you, and you're
Or
standing in front of, let's say, even just 100 people, which is not a lot, but you know, it's either going to be crickets, or it's going to be like, ha, ha, ha,
Or it's you fucking suck, boo.
or it's going to be fucking tomatoes being thrown at your head. You never know. It's
That's
a risk.
what's funny, because like
It's a risk.
when you do shit like that, when you do ballsy stuff like that, or you're an athlete or a fighter, anything like that, people are savage.
Oh yeah, they don't.
And
give a
most
shit.
of these people have nothing to bring to the table. They don't have a pot to piss in.
Yeah.
You know, they're people who aren't doing shit, but they're the first people to be like,
Oh, you fucking suck, you
Yeah,
loser.
yeah, yeah.
I would do it better. My grandmother could do better.
and they're literally eating Mike and Ike's off their stomach,
Oh,
sitting on
God.
their bed and just
Yeah.
you know.
It's terrible, dude. I'll be honest with you. I see that a lot, especially on Instagram. Like, even looking on, let's say,
you get people talking shit.
oh yeah. I mean, not a lot on my page. I have had, you know, critics and bad reviews from some little jerk off hiding behind like a 2-follower page, you know, like a fake page. But if you go to like World Star or like these big platforms and you go into the comments, I've seen videos where personally I was hysterically like laughing. Like, let's say I watched like a King Batch or Anwar type of video on World Star, and I'll go to the comments and you'll just see a couple of comments like, straight face gang, where you at? You know, and it'll get like 100 likes from people who agree, or people, where was the joke? Like, what part was I supposed to laugh at? And I'm like looking at these comments, I'm like, is this kid like, is he getting bullied in school? Is he miserable? Like, this shit was funny. Like, how didn't you find this funny too? I don't get it.
They can't be happy for other people, dude.
Yeah, it's like, I just don't understand it, you know? It really shows, though, how different people are and different sense of humors, and, you know, especially with the comedy stuff. Like, I'll be honest with you, I personally don't think Kevin Hart is the funniest guy.
Oh, dude, I've been thinking this for so
I'll be honest.
long.
I respect him. He's a hustler. I don't think he's funny anymore.
Yo, I'm gonna be
Back in the day, he was. His stand-up
No,
shit.
honestly, man, don't get me wrong. There are things skits he's done that were funny and whatever. I don't find him that funny.
Yeah, he's really
Being
not
honest
that
with you,
funny, dude. I'll be honest.
So many people don't agree with me, so I never even bother.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like,
Oh my god, dude,
different
I could not
tastes.
agree more with you, bro.
you know, it's with
Could
everything.
not agree more with you.
It's like music.
He's all right. I don't think he's that
Yeah,
funny.
no,
I really don't.
like I said, I think Dave Chappelle, you know, is one of my favorite comedians. I
Bill
think
Burr
he's-
also cracks me up.
Who?
Bill Burr.
Oh, yeah, he's
Yeah,
funny.
he
He's funny.
cracks me up. Oh, you know what? You know what? Actually, though, you know what gets me about a lot of female comedians? They really fuck it for themselves because all they do is talk about sex. I think that's such a cheap way to become popular. It's funny. You want to throw in sex, do it. It's funny, great. But some of them overdo it, and it's all they talk about. It's like, we get it. You like to talk about sex, great. But it's not. It's cheating. You know what I'm saying? It's the shock factor. They're constantly shocking you. The other day I was doing that, and it's like, okay, hilarious, awesome, we got it, we heard it already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
I
but
get it.
there are female comedians that don't have to do that. A lot of them do, to be honest with you, from what I see. Which female
don't know
comedians?
a lot
Which
of,
female comedians do you know that don't talk about sex all the time?
I don't know.
Do they all do it?
I think for the most part they do. But I will say this. There is one female who I think is hilarious on Instagram. Her name is, I think it's Sexy Stace Face, something like that. She's a little like on the heavier side.
Okay.
But I think she's from maybe the Bronx, but she's fucking funny, dude. She's
Yeah.
funny. If you don't know who she is, look her up. I
check
think
her
it's
out.
Sexy Stace Face, something like that.
I'll check it out.
She's fucking hilarious. I shout out to her. She makes me laugh.
Yeah.
I checked her out. She's cool. But as far as stand up, I don't really know too many. I don't watch too many female comedians, honestly.
Yeah. As long
None
as
of
you're-
them
as long,
stick out.
As long as you're honest.
Only way to be, guys. Only way to be. You know.
Yeah, dude.
But yeah, I'm getting more into the stand-up comedy. I want to actually start doing auditions for movies and stuff. I got a friend who wants to manage me, and he actually set up a photo shoot
amazing,
for
man.
next week when I get back to New York. We're gonna be doing that.
Dude, phenomenal.
Yeah, my boy Prince. Shout out to Prince Money from Brooklyn. He raps and all that. He's doing his thing. But yeah, he wants to help me out. He believes in me, and he wants to set up a few auditions and take it from there and see what happens.
Yeah, dude, you would do a great Jim Carrey style of comedy, like that slapstick kind of humor.
I would love that, honestly.
You would do great with it, bro. You would do great.
Get me on set. Jim, where are you, buddy? I love you. You know that? Who's her?
You never know, bro. You might even see it. You never know.
Yeah. You never know. You're right. You're right.
One thing leads to another. How'd you get the crew, by the way? Because I know you have a couple of people that I've seen in your videos. How
Yeah.
did you? There's just a couple of people you knew from before you started doing this, or
Not at
some of them
all,
came
dude.
along after you already.
Yeah, everybody came along.
But doesn't this
after.
prove though how this shit manifests itself? Because you
100%.
just see like, oh, I got comments. People are looking at me. Okay, I'll keep doing it, and then it builds and builds and builds. And other people who do comedy are like, yo, I do this shit too, and you guys meet up and do one together. Then other people that they know do come and do shit with you, and then you're building this not client, but you're building this
Like
Rolodex
platform.
of people, this atmosphere,
networking
whatever,
and
network
stuff.
and whatever, and it's like, you know, before you know it, you're just anything you like. Oh, I need a white girl to do this. I need a Spanish girl to do this. I need that you know, this black dude, this whatever it is, and you just for that specific role, and you literally have like 70 people you can choose to do a specific thing.
No, 100%. And it's funny that you say that because that's exactly what happened with me. See, the people around me who I knew at the time when I started doing the comedy skits, nobody was into that. It was just me from Brooklyn, you know, just trying to get my name out there and trying to make people laugh. Actually, my boy Will, who I mentioned earlier, Will's Way, he reached out to me, and he didn't know me through a hole in the wall. He just DM'd me randomly. He was like, yo, dude, I think you're funny,
Glory
and
hole
I want to work. I want to work.
Glory hole kind of thing.
Yeah. So. Glory hole. Yeah, but
Did you see yo, real quick, hold your thought. You said it. I had to throw it in. You holding
ahead.
it? You got it?
God.
Keep the thought. Did you see what they wrote? I think it was a European country. Literally, because of COVID, mentioned that people should use glory holes. I shit you not. I'll find it for you. They literally
I did
made
not
it.
see that. That's hilarious.
There was a list
What?
of medical procedures during
Yeah.
sex, during a pandemic, and they literally threw that in there. And I took like a triple take, and I was like, "Is this real? Like that? The government knows what this is?" And they,
You heard that, babe? Glory hole. We should try that. That's hilarious. But no, you got to show me that. You got to show me that. That's funny shit. I didn't see that.
That's amazing,
Goddamn Europeans!
dude. They're
What the hell's up with you guys? Horny bastards?
They're crazy. what were you talking about though?
Oh, yeah. So my friend Will, he DM'd me out of nowhere, and he was like, "Yo, dude, you know, I like your videos. I think we should collab." And I said, you know, I answered him. I was like, "Yeah, dude, let's do it. Fuck it, why not?" And we met up, and boom, made some magic, made a few skits, and he introduced me to some people who he knows and worked with who do skits as well from Queens, and that's how it really started, at least for my page. So I started linking up with Jay Garcia, who's a big timer in Queens, who does skits. Shout out to Jay Garcia. He was one of the first role models, actually, who I looked up to when I started. A friend of mine put me on him, was like, "Oh, watch this guy. You remind me of him a little bit." So that's how I found Jay Garcia, and we linked up. We did a couple skits. So shout out to Jay. He's doing his thing. He was actually on MTV as well. He had a prank episode, him and his mom. It was pretty dope.
Oh, I want to
recently.
show that to me, dude.
Yeah, it was funny as shit. But yeah, man, you know, people like me, we're out there, we're working. You know, it's the little things that get you going. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure even Jay would have never thought that he would have been on MTV when he started doing these skits, and boom, he got on this year, which is fucking dope, you know. And same thing for my video to even make it to Ridiculousness. It's dope. It's cool.
What were some of the hardships that you've been through, like stuff that didn't pan out, like having to do a scene like 50 times?
Oh man.
Like what are things that really just were hard that you had to the obstacles you had to get over?
I'll be honest with you, it's really a mental thing when it comes to this comedy stuff. At least for me, it's I'm my worst enemy.
Yeah, dude, always.
You know, you're gonna have critics. People are gonna talk shit. People are gonna hate. People are gonna be like, he's not that funny, whatever. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm content with that. But it's when I doubt myself. That's when, you know what I mean. That's my biggest problem. Like I need to be able to build myself up and just trust myself. Like this is how I want it done. Like trust that it's gonna come out the way that I want, you know, the people to interpret my comedy and stuff like that, my sense of humor. So if I get like a little doubtful, like, I don't know if this works, I don't know if I should do it this way, that's when boom, that's already a setback. I'm already doubting myself, and it causes problems. It's happened to me numerous amount of times, you know, in this past year, where I, you know, doubted myself. Should I continue? Is this even going to get me anywhere? So to be able to challenge myself in that way and be like, you know what? I'm going to trust my gut. I'm going to trust my thought process and my sense of humor, and I'm just going to go with it. And so far, it hasn't steered me wrong. Being able to battle that, you know?
Yeah, it's a rule of life. It's a rule of life. Because the more momentum you have in either direction, the more you'll do that thing. So like if 100%. You keep doubting yourself and you keep saying, that video, I could have done that. I could have made it. I could have, should have, would have. Yeah, maybe you could have. Maybe it would have been the biggest hit in the fucking maybe. But you trust your gut, because like, how do you know? Are you gonna start asking 30 people?
Hey, do you think I should have maybe worn different pants? Should I have done it outside? Should I have done it upside down? I don't know. And you start asking all these people, and everyone has a different opinion. And then before you know, your brain is exploding, and you're like, I'm just not gonna do anything. And that's what usually happens. This is a general rule of life. So, dude, it's vital that it's awesome that you're aware of that.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that's an obvious, like it's redundant. Like everyone should know that, but I don't think people internalize it.
How about this? This is like a true story, okay? So I'm at my apartment with my girlfriend, and regular day. I had just recently gotten posted on World Star, the video that I told you that made MTV. Okay, so it hits World Star, right? It gets me over 10K, gets me to 11K, whatever.
How far were you? Where were you before that?
Before that video, I think I was at maybe 8,000.
And how fast did that 2-3K?
Within 2 days, I was already 11K.
Wow. Bro.
Yeah, that was the most I ever gained. I gained like 3,000 followers off that video.
Damn.
Over 2 million views, that video. That shit was crazy. It was in the moment. It wasn't like planned out. It was like a natural video, and those usually do the best. So
the traffic video, I was laughing really hard from that.
When I was dancing like Chris Tucker?
That was hilarious, bro. When you were
Rush
doing
Hour?
Because you know what? It was so natural.
Yeah.
You could tell.
That made World Star too.
Yeah, I saw that. That's what I'm talking about, bro. When I told you, I look at your shit.
My man. All right.
That's it. So it was so natural, man. That's when the comedy is fire.
Yeah.
When you're just in the state of flow and like the creativity starts to build and like in the moment
I love it.
And you're just going at it. That's when it's really good, because people sense that. They can smell that you just being your weird ass self, and they love it.
Dude, I'm fucking weird, man, and I think that that helps me. I know I'm weird.
But you're confidently weird. That's the best.
like,
most people, everyone's weird, but
everybody exactly.
But some people are like. This makes sense. They're either secretive or they're just pointlessly weird. We're like, it's a stupid thing to say, but like, you're weird in a way where you want it to benefit you and you allow it to just be. Other people are like, I'm weird. You're like, I'm fucking weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
There's a difference. You get what I mean?
You got to embrace that shit, man. If you're watching this and you're weird, embrace your weirdness.
Yeah, dude.
That's my advice to you weird people. But, fuck, yeah. What was I saying about so the story, right? So I'm in my apartment. I had just got posted on World Star. You would think, I I feel like I'm on top of the world right now. Like, wow, like this is dope.
Yeah.
You know, the views are crazy. This is the most viewed video I've ever gotten. And that was my 5th time posted on World Star. So fast forward 2 weeks, I had one of those days where I was like, now what? Like, you know, like, what's next? Like, what do I do? Like, what's the game plan? Like, I was just doubting myself a lot, you know, being hard on myself. And I promise you, 10 minutes later, I just refreshed my email. And, no, wait, was it the email? No, I got a DM. I'm sorry. Before the email, I got a DM from an MTV producer from Ridiculousness talking about, is this your video, the World Star?
Did you think
video.
it was fake for a second?
Of course, 100%. In that moment, I was like, "This no fucking way." MTV producer, yeah, right. Who are you, you fraud? You know, like that's what I'm thinking. You know, I'm from Brooklyn. I'm always thinking somebody's trying to get over on me.
Same way, yeah.
I
We're all like that, bro.
What do you want
never,
from me, buddy?
You never trust anything.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you? What the fuck do you want?
What do you want from me? Why you talking to me like that, huh? I got nothing for you, bud. But yeah, this guy hits me up randomly about this video. He actually sent me the link of the World Star video saying, "Is this you? Blah blah blah. You know, own the rights, all this shit." And I was like, "Yeah. What's up? You know, what's going on?" And he started telling me that he's a producer and all this shit. And I did my research on him. Turned out to be real. And I was like, wow, like that right there, in that moment, made me realize like patience is really like a virtue. Oh, you know, that line, like really in the moment, having the patience is the most freaking annoying thing in the world, because I didn't get posted on World Star for maybe 11 months of doing skits every
that's not
single
bad, bro.
day, and I thought that was terrible.
11 months? You know how many people would be like, 11 months? Bro, there are people that have been doing this for years, man.
Yeah.
11 months in the grand scheme of things. But in the moment, 11 months feels like forever.
Oh, forget about it.
You're like,
Especially
when
when
is
you're doing it
somebody
every
going to
day.
notice me? But now that it's there, you look back at it in reality, 11 months is not that long, bro.
Not at all. You're right.
You're on MTV. You're going to be on MTV, man. It's not
pretty
a
cool.
long time. But yeah, I hear you.
You're
Patience
right.
is so important, and that's why most people don't do the things they want to do, because it's like,
yeah.
when is it going to happen? It's not going to happen. I'm not good enough. And then they just do nothing about it. And yeah, no shit. Now it's never going to happen. So
You're right. Yeah, you're right. And that's what I learned on that day, especially because, you know, what if I never would have got that DM? I don't know. Would I have stopped making videos? I don't know. I can't tell you. But thank God, you know, I needed that in that moment to kind of like remind myself, like, oh shit, you know, all that work that you put in, like, here it is. This is the outcome. This is the results. Like, if you put in the work, just like with anything, working out, dancing, playing basketball, like if you practice, you're probably going to be decent. Maybe not the best, but you're going to be decent. You're going to know what you're doing, you know? And that's what happened with the skits. I just started learning. Even forget about the acting part. Even behind the scenes of putting it together. Editing, you know, on the phone. Like, I learned so much through friends and other people who make skits. Like, that's a whole different thing. That shit is dope. I love that shit. Like being able to, I guess, narrate and produce the video and put it together and add the effects and all that. I love
awesome, because you have it in your brain.
Yes.
And then you just see your work.
Exactly.
And you're like, this is how I wanted it to be.
Exactly.
And it's like, like it
directed your own sort of mini little movie, you know? Sick feeling.
I
love it.
It's exhilarating, bro. I had this with the podcast. You know, starting it up, and I was thinking of all these ways to make it. I went to the B&H. You know, you heard of B&H?
No, what is that?
It's one of the most popular electronic stores in the world.
Okay.
It's in New York.
Okay,
It's actually owned by Hasidic Jews.
Oh, wow.
And they have celebrities going there all the time. It's very well known. It's in the city. So I went there and I told them, hey, I want to put a podcast together. Could you show me what equipment I would need? I don't want to spend a lot of money, but I want to do video, yada, yada. So they walked me through it. And then, because in the beginning, I wasn't like, I'm not going to do it, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I was like, fuck it, just do it. And I went there and I did it, and I bought the cameras and whatever.
Yeah, it's
And
sick
little
setup you
by
got over
little,
there.
yeah, man, thanks. And little by little, things started to become more real to me. And I started doing a few episodes, and I was stalling putting it out. I just kept like, I got to wait until I have this, and I got to wait until I have that. And I was like, just put it out already.
Yeah.
once I put it out,
Yeah.
it became real. I was like, now this is happening.
You see it,
now
yeah,
I have
yeah.
to build it. I have to make sure I have guests every week. I have to make sure that the editing is good. I have to fit it into my real estate schedule. I have to make sure it doesn't really get in the way of work. And I'm getting all these different ideas. Like, I'm always having, like, who can I put on? How can I make it more appealing? How can I build controversy? What do people want to see? How can I make it funny? How can I make it, whatever, all these different things. And then, just so many creative things come into play. It
100%.
becomes, and all of this, and once you see it happening, you build, just like with you build the confidence to keep going. And it's, for me, man, I haven't gotten any MTV kind of thing, and mentally, I think I'm okay with that. Meaning, do I want that? Of course. Even though my podcasts generally don't go that route, it's a different kind of thing.
It's a different kind of ball game,
Right.
but in a sense, you just
sense,
started, right?
Right,
So
100%.
You just keep going. That's really.
I have no plan to stop.
That's the best advice I think I ever got from people, was just keep going, stay consistent. That's it. Don't stop.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
No matter what, just keep being you and just keep going. And what could go wrong?
Worst case scenario, you can say that you had a plan, you had a dream, you had something in mind, and it came to fruition. And that's something that most people can't say.
Exactly.
And that in and of itself is bigger than, So for me, just the idea that I wanted to, and I did it, and I'm enjoying it, and it's not something that I'm forcing myself to do. Like, oh, it's so stressful. Another episode. I'm like, another fucking episode. Dope. Who do I get to interview today?
You're ecstatic about it.
I love it.
Yeah.
So, that's another key. Loving what you do. It of course, it's hard.
Yeah.
It requires effort, but it's so much easier to put in the hard work because you're looking forward to it.
100%.
You know what I mean? And that's when you hear people who become successful, massively successful people in any given field, and they talk about it. If you aren't doing your own version of it, you listen to it and you think it's nice, but you're like, oh, that's so nice. And then you go home and you do the same shit you're doing.
Yeah.
When you're actually building your own version of that, you're like, wow, I really get what they mean. You know what I mean? Like, you start to understand it and you're like, persistence. Yeah, dude, I'm persistent. Okay. I'm coming up with something and I'm making it real. Okay, coming up, making it real. You know what I mean?
100%, man. And it's so many different examples of that too out there. Like, like I was talking about King Batch.
Right.
A guy who was like me, a regular Joe, just trying to be funny, make videos, and now he's got like movies on Netflix. And he started from Instagram.
That's where they start. He started from nothing, man.
From nothing. It's crazy, and I'm seeing more and more of that, like Mr. Commodore, Haha Davis. These are, Instagram comedians.
I know King Batch. I don't know the other guys.
Yeah, no, you gotta. Haha Davis is probably my top 3 favorite IG comedian. He's hilarious. He does like he'll do like a scenario where he's like sitting chilling, but like he does like a voiceover of thoughts. You know what I mean? So like, for an example, like let's say you got like a weed bag, like he'll be the weed bag, like the voice like, talking to him. You know what I mean? Like, funny shit, dude. He's hilarious. But also, I see him in tune with 50 Cent. Like,
wow.
And Mr. Commodore, like, getting
I just saw some
role
of 50 Cent.
in his new show. I don't know what it's called. I forget. But yeah, these are Instagram comedians who make skits, who are on TV now. Like, for a guy like me, that's motivation. That's the shit that I need to see to keep me, focused. Like, I can be that. Like, they started where I was at. What's the difference?
Nothing.
There's no difference,
Nothing.
man.
You just have to believe that you're worthy of getting to where they got.
Yeah. I'm not a cocky guy. I may come off that way. I got the little curl hanging. I might put the shades on.
I don't think you come off that way, man.
But I'm very, I'm a humble dude, and I'm just confident, and I just believe in myself, and I think that I was made to be on the big screen, whatever that means,
Brazzers.
Whatever that means. I don't know. This could be the big screen. Hey, how are you? You know what I mean? But I just believe, like, I don't know. I was here to make people smile. The best feeling, I'll be honest with you, is when one of my fans or supporters or anybody would hit me up and say, hey man, I watched your video today and you made my day. That right there, boom, I know my job is done. I did something good today. I made somebody happy, or I made somebody's day flip upside down from a frown to a smile, and that's like a feeling that you can't really describe. It's just like nice,
It's awesome. Yeah, dude.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, dude.
I get a lot of that. It's cool.
I'm glad, bro. Okay, so with all that said, it's been an absolute pleasure, bro. Guys, check him out. Puerto Rican Jew, the Puerto Rican Jew on
That's
Instagram.
me, guys.
That is him.
That's me.
Brother, it's been...
Yeah, motherfucker, make sure you follow, man. Yeah, Benzona. Don't play around, okay? But yeah, it's been a pleasure as well. It's a cool experience, being in Miami and just being able to do this, and it's cool.
Come back to visit.
Definitely
know.
will. Hopefully move down here.
Dude.
Right on.
Give me a ring when you do. So without further ado, guys, check him out. This has been another episode of Using Semantics with your host, Rafi Pinsky. And tomorrow in Paris, we'll be doing another episode. So guys, stay tuned. Ta-ta for now. Peace.
Peace out.